Came about. Bob Hope was taping a special in the studio a few weeks ago, and I happened to walk in, and they were doing a scene. It was the last special that played with Burt Reynolds and Diane Cannon. Those of you who saw the show might remember they did a poker game. And they cut to Diane, and all of a sudden you saw the cards go into these intricate fans and cuts and shuffles, and this young lady was the stand-in. You never saw her in the show. They would just cut to the hands, then they cut back to Diane sitting there. And it's rather unusual to see a young lady who does flourishes and manipulations with cards. I thought you might like to meet her. Would you welcome? Her name is Tracy Newman. Tracy? And that's exactly the way it happened, true?
Yep.
Saw you down sitting at the card table, and you were, I guess, a hand stand-in. Is that what they would call that?
Yeah, I was Diane Cannon's hands.
Have you done that before in motion pictures or anything else?
Was
that your first time?
First time where you could really see anything.
Yeah, because I know John Scarney and a lot of people like that and other fellows who work cards have done it in motion pictures before when there's a scene and
yeah,
so
they
forth.
used to have men do women's hands because there weren't any women doing this. And then...
I think you're the first gal I've met. I know girls who do magic as such, the whole complete magic act, but who does just the cards. How did this start? This is unusual for a gal.
It is unusual. I saw a magician at the Magic Castle.
Yeah, that's a great place out here in Hollywood.
Well, you remember.
Yeah, it's...
I saw Ricky Jay there, and he, with the magic, and he's very funny too, but with all that, he does these manipulations, and I was, impressed with the magic, but the manipulations, I just couldn't, I just kept going back to see that. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah, they call them flourishes. As you know, I used to do magic as a kid, and I was intrigued. Well, not like you do them. You really have got them down. I haven't done them for years. Now, I know you practice hours and hours and hours, because I remember as a kid, I drove, and I've told the story on the air before, I drove my mother absolutely stark raving bananas, how she ever went through it, because all I would do is go through the house, watch this, watch this. And as soon as you take a card, take a card. And, by the time I left home, she was ready to go right to the home. No, because it does. You want to show right away if you learn anything. But I know it takes hours. I used to sit for hours and hours and hours and literally do a cut and the backhand palm and all those things. How many hours a day do you do this? You have to keep up with it. It's not something that you can leave alone for a few weeks.
I started, when I was first learning, I did sometimes 6 hours a day.
That's true. And you'll sit in front of a mirror usually.
No, I didn't do. I just would watch television.
Well, I did because I had a great body in those days. I did mine naked, just to keep the interest going. When I got tired of the magic, I look at the body a while, and then it's all relative. So you don't work in front of. Now you see, you got to get a close up to see what she's doing here.
It's a nervous habit.
Yeah, I would do that. You would sit wherever you are with a deck of cards in your hands and just do these cuts over and over again. So we're going to get a close-up camera. Now we got a close-up camera there, so if you stay right in that area.
Okay, I won't move.
Now what you're doing is taking the bottom half, putting them on top, right? With one hand. Now that intrigues me. Widen that camera shot a little, Bob, and do that pressure spread again. Look at that. Now you would swear those cards were connected together, right? This is just a regular bicycle deck of cards.
This is my favorite move too.
I don't know. See, I know it's a pressure thing, and you have to release. But what do you call that particular maneuver?
I love the sound.
What do you call that particular?
It's called the hopping spread.
The hopping spread. I used to do that too, but I was also naked in front of the mirror.
In Toledo.
That was in Toledo, yes. But that's a long story, and a dismal one, I might add. Okay, now you're doing a.
I don't know. That's.
I've never seen that done before.
I'd call it an angle. Can you get this?
Yeah, you put the cards at right angles. Now you put them together. That's the one you did a moment ago, and then you did a cascade.
Yeah.
I have another deck.
6 hours tomorrow.
Oh, wait.
Two decks, no waiting. When you say my deck, you see when you manipulate these decks a while, they get in a little better shape, don't they? You can't.
I can't just take a new deck and
what are you doing there?
Do a.
Doing a cut within a cut into the middle.
It's a one-handed shuffle when the cards intertwine, but they're a little...
Good heavens, you cut the deck, you mix them. Can you do that one again?
Sure.
I don't know if they caught that. You cut the deck with one hand, interlace them, and now by bending them, you shuffle the deck. You ever sit down at a table in a poker game and do that? The game, automatically ceases.
I did a deal.
Can I try one? I hate to compete. I do not compete with you at all.
Do the diminishing one. The diminishing.
Oh, no,
that's
an old one.
Well, do that. That looks great.
Oh, it's really been a long time, and I'm not trying to, as you can see, it's been a long time. If I had my clothes off, this would be dynamite. Now, let's see, there was one where you used to take them out of the middle, right? Like this, swing those out and put those on top. But you gotta catch them and then push them back there and bring them out.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, you spent a lot of hours with
I
this.
used to spend a lot of hours doing that, but now show me that pressure thing. I do not do that.
Well, I don't have a full deck. I guess it doesn't matter then.
Now you
Just
bridge
squeeze
them,
and then just...
you bridge them in here.
Uh-huh.
Right, now what?
And then you just sort of release them.
I'm not putting you on. That is not easy.
It's just hard to bend the deck.
All right. All right, now there.
Oh, very good.
Now what?
Just let them go.
Huh? Yeah, you did
Do the
that.
diminishing.
Yeah, do that.
Well, the diminishing cards were you'd start with a deck. I don't have a full deck either. Then you take them here and kind of push them down a little, make them a little smaller, and you come down a little more until they were down like that. Then you take the whole things, you know, and do that and get rid of them. Oh, been a long time. You do that great.
I did a deal on the Bob Hope show that
Oh yeah, I remember. Now, wait a minute. Wait till we get a close up.
Okay.
Get a close up right here, Bob. Now, get your hand up in here. There. That's it. Now watch this deal.
I should have a full deck, though, unfortunately.
Oh, that's crazy.
When it gets going, it's real great.
Got the little thing behind that. That I don't understand at all.
I'm about out here.
You see, you make that look very simple, but the hours and hours and hours of practice going to something like that. Now, do you do this? This is not your main vocation, is it?
No, I write songs and sing and perform.
Yeah.
Play the guitar.
While doing this, or?
Well, I'm trying to incorporate this somehow into, you know, a club act with that.
Right. Do you do magic as such? I mean, outside of what they call the flourishes and the manipulations, where you?
I know two
do
tricks, and it's going to take me about 5 years to get them to the point where
Were you ready
I would
to
dare
show them?
do them in front of anyone.
That's
I'm so
very
afraid of
interesting.
being caught, you know. I
Yeah.
think that
You feel
most,
awkward when you're trying to palm a card?
Oh, yeah.
Worst thing when you start, you know, and they teach you how to what they call palm a card, where you've got it in your hands, is to not let people know it's there. You know, and you've got one in your hand like this, and to sit and do something natural and hold the deck and move without thinking that it's there drives you crazy. What?
do that very well.
No, but once you do, you have to move and you know, do normal things. Right. You used to do all that, didn't you?
Oh, you had 3.
3. We'll be right back after this word from the Chrysler Corporation.